Helen was born June 27th, 1880. She was born perfectly healthy. Old, 19 months old, she contracts what they call brain fever. Historians believe that was meningitis or scarlet fever. At that point, she loses all of her hearing and sight. When Kate realizes that her daughter has gone deaf and blind, she begins to do research and try to find someone to help her daughter. Kate reads about Alexander Graham Bell, who was living in Nova Scotia, Canada at that time, inventor of the telephone, right? So he had, what you don't know is that you may not know is that he was also a teacher of the deaf, but he examines Helen. He's able to talk to her at that point because she's got some rudimentary sign language she uses with her parents, like showing them that she's hungry and things. And so after examining Helen, he tells Arthur and Kate that she has a perfectly healthy mind. All she needs is an education. So Kate comes back to Alabama, and she starts looking for a school to put Helen into, or a teacher to hire. And she reads about the Perkins Institute for the Deaf and Blind in Boston, Massachusetts. She reads about the director there, Dr. Dagnos. She contacts him and sets up a meeting with him. They meet with him, and he suggests to them Anne Sullivan, who's 20 years old right here. She was a brand new graduate from the Perkins Institute. She herself was blind, legally blind. She wasn't completely blind. So Arthur and Kate meet with her, and they offer her $25 a month plus room and board to come here and teach Helen. She arrives here March 3rd, 1887 at our train station, which is still standing, and comes here to meet Helen. And she teaches Helen her first words. Anybody know what that is?
Water.
No.
No?
Trick question. Trick question. It was doll, because she had brought a gift from the Perkins Institute. She spells D-O-L-L into her hands. And that's when Helen copies the letters back into her hand perfectly. Because Helen was a quick study. Helen was a spoiled child because her parents did not know what to do with her. She was extremely smart, so that means she was getting into everything. She was very mischievous, but she just couldn't talk to people very well. So they kind of felt sorry for her, but they loved her to death at the same time. So they just spoiled her rotten. So anything she did, she just got away with it. There was no punishment. One of the examples we like to give is that when Helen was 5, she was walking down this hallway and she discovered her mother working in this pantry closet here under the stairs. You can open that door and look in if you want to. But her mother was working in there, so Helen shuts the door. She says that's the day she discovers what the keys are for. And so she locks her mom in there, walks out here and sits down on the front porch. She says she is entertained by the vibrations of her mother beating on the door trying to get out for the next 3 hours. And there was no mention of any punishment for that in her memoirs. So she was spoiled. To this point, Arthur did not have a good opinion of Annie. He thought she was an opinionated Yankee because she was not afraid to speak her mind. So he wasn't too enamored of her, but his attitude changes that night. Arthur and Kate kind of look at each other, and they're like, well, so they go and lock the doors, and they open them up, and there is Helen sitting next to Annie, eating out of a plate with a spoon, with a folded napkin in her lap. So this is when Arthur's attitude towards Annie starts to change.
We're here in Tuscumbia, Alabama, and this is where they have the Miracle Worker play every summer. It is the official outdoor drama of Alabama. The play was written by William Gibson, and it is produced each summer on the grounds here at Ivy Green. And there's the side house. That's a small house where Anne Sullivan trained her. And Preston's looking at the famous pump right there. Right there, that's the pump. Hi everyone. We're here today at Ivy Green, which is the birthplace of Helen Keller. This home was built in 1820 on a 640-acre tract by David and Mary Fairfax Moore Keller, which are Helen Keller's grandparents. It's a Virginia-style cottage construction. It has 4. We're here at the cottage where Anne Sullivan said she had to bring Helen if she was going to teach her. So here's the cottage. And this is the back room of the cottage where Anne Sullivan moved Helen's stuff her things, her personal things, so they could come in here and learn. Here's the kitchen. As you know, in the older homes, the kitchens were outside, so if they caught on fire, they did not burn down the actual home. And that's the back of Helen Keller's home. This ice house was built in 2009, but it's a replica, obviously. If you could say, in late January or early February of the 1800s, Captain Keller would travel 6 miles to the Tennessee River to harvest ice for the summer.
My name is Christopher. I'm your host today. Ivy Green was named after the English ivy that was growing here when David and Mary Keller came here in 1820 and settled this place. This was the second house built here in Tuscumbia. It was originally a 640-acre tract of land. It started right there at our gates and went all the way to the Tennessee River. It was a long, narrow strip. It was originally sold off for $1.25 an acre.
Photograph of Helen Keller at 7 years old. Places let's go here at Ivy Green. Ivy Green is a family home of Captain Arthur and Kate Keller, built in 1820, and it was the second house erected in Tuscumbia. Helen Keller was born here on June 27th, 1880.